In this module, we will demonstrate the basic configuration of a Layer 2 switch to make it manageable from a remote location via Telnet. The command line interface of a switch is, in most ways, the same as that of a router. So to perform basic configuration of the switch to make it manageable, we must give it several of the same parameters of the router, such as a host name, enable password, console password, and a VTY password. The major difference is that a switch has 16 Telnet ports instead of the 5 that the router has. So when we configure the VTY ports, they'll be numbered 0 through 15 as opposed to 0 through 4 for the router. The switch also has embedded into its iOS a VLAN 1. We will assign an IP address to VLAN 1 to make that switch manageable via Telnet. Therefore, we can remotely access this switch when something needs to be changed or something's wrong, we need to troubleshoot, rather than have to be on site and tap in with the console port. There's no real need in going through explaining every entry of the process as far as assigning the host name, etc., because those are all the same. So we're getting ready to connect up our console port from our PC to our switch and go through and do the process of configuring it. First of all, though, we're going to click on the switch, open it up. We have the physical tab. Notice there are no modules. Expand it all the way out here. We'll zoom in. This right here shows us our 24 ports of our switch. These are all fast Ethernet. These two ports here are the gigabit Ethernet switch. We have a config mode and a CLI mode, both of which we will not use. Go down to our connections toolbar, select the console cable, hook up to the PC to the RS-232 port, come over to the switch, click on it to the console port. Open the PC, click the desktop tab, the terminal. Notice that our terminal configuration settings are correct, and we come over here and we see the switch the way it is right after it is booted. We press enter. We are at the user exec mode of the switch, so we type enable. We're now at the privilege exec mode. Configure terminal. Now we give it a host name. And we call it switch 0. Enable password. Now if we did not have an enable password, we would not need one, as we didn't need one here prior to get from the user exec mode to privilege exec mode. But if we don't have an enable password on our switch and we try to telnet into our switch, it will not allow us access to the privilege exec mode without a password. I will demonstrate that toward the end of this video. Put our console password in. Log in. This is not necessary for Telnet, but it is necessary to make the switch overall manageable. So now we're going to go line VTY 0 through 15. That's for our 16 Telnet ports. Put password of Cisco in there and log in. We do not need to have a banner message of the day for our switch. So at this point in time, we've pretty much covered everything we need to do as far as the basic stuff. Now we exit out of the configuration line and we're going to interface the VLAN and assign an IP address to it. We also have to give this switch a default gateway address, and that's the address of the fast Ethernet port of the router. Just like on the PC, you have a gateway address which points to the router's address. That's your gateway out into the rest of the world, kind of like a doorway. So we're going to interface VLAN 1, give it an IP address, 148.10.10.2, because the router had .1 and we've already assigned .3 to the PC. Subnet mask of 255. Not like that, it won't. 255.255.255.248. Enter. If I go and I type in IP default-gateway now, it will accept it and apply it to the switch. However, VLAN 1 is still shut down. So we must do the same thing as we would for a fast Ethernet port. We must tell it no, shut down. Notice now that the line protocol comes up, the VLAN is up and ready. Now we type in IP default -gateway and the address of the router, 148.10.10.1. Copy, run, start. We'll give our show run. showing all our fast Ethernet ports. They're not assigned to anything right now. It's just a pass-through. But here we go. Interface VLAN 1, IP address 148.10.10.2 with a subnet mask, and the default gateway is that of the router. Our console password is in. Our telnet password is in. We want to save this information. Oops. I think I already did that anyway, but it's always good to do it as well. Now we can actually check to see if we can telnet into this switch. So we go telnet from the command prompt. Boy, I can't type today. 148.10.10.2. And I'm going to need a space in there because it's going to tell me otherwise. There we go. It's going to try it. Comes up user access verification. Now this here is where it's asking for my telnet password, which is Cisco. Now I'm at the user exec mode. I need to go enable. It's going to ask me for a password. Cisco again. Now I'm at the privilege exec mode. So we go show run. Shows everything we need to see about the switch. Everything's in there. It's running good. Okay. So now we're going to configure the terminal. And we're going to remove the enable password by typing no enable password. Okay. Now that doesn't kick us out of the switch because we're in the switch. We're already past the enable password. We're good to go. So we're going to exit out of this, and then we're going to exit out one more time, and we are now out of the switch from telnet. It says connection to 148.10.10.2 closed by foreign host. So now we're going to try it by hitting the up arrow. Come in here. Hey, well, I thought you said we couldn't get into the switch. This is the telnet password. Now I want to go enable to get to the privilege exec mode. Type in there. It says no password set. So in order to get back into the switch now, I have to physically go connect up to the console port, log in, and give it an enable password. That concludes this exercise.